Greetings, dear ones. This is the Council of 12, channeling through Babaji, through Evalena Rose. We're very excited to be here to speak with you and would like to give you some guidance for these challenging times. So we encourage you to maybe pause, get a cup of tea, come back, and really listen deeply, because we infuse these channelings and this replay with a lot of spiritual energy and a lot of light. And we'd like you to allow yourself to receive that. So, yes, some of the most challenging times in eons, well, at least ages. And we would say to those of you who wish to listen to us that you arrived here for this time. For decades, for centuries, and especially in recent decades, there have been many prophecies about the times of great change and spiritual revolution and activation on other levels of consciousness. They were always spoken of as dangerous times, times when it feels, as the Hopi elder said, the river's flowing now very fast, and it seems like many would wish to hang on to the bank. But he says, and I say to you, let go of the bank, push into the center of the river, keep your feet in front of you, your head above water, and celebrate. Celebrate who else is in there with you. Those who are in the river, this fast flow with you, and able to tune in to these levels, are other light workers whose souls have prepared them to be here. And if you compared notes, you would find that most of you had a very challenging childhood, that you experienced abandonment or despair or annihilation for some people, or abuse or neglect, all the ways in which love is not fostered on this planet. It's been part of your curriculum. It's not a punishment. It's been part of your curriculum because, knowing that these times of radical shift were coming, many beings in the universe and many guides on our side of the veil have chosen to be here for these times. And the best way to prepare for healing the lack of love is to experience it and to work it through. And all those hours, all that time you spent healing yourself and in therapy and energy work and hypnosis and etc. and meditation and spiritual practices, that has all served you and prepared you for this time. What you're likely to find is that if you choose to focus on what you want instead of what you no longer do, that a lot of that will just fall away. A lot of the past will become irrelevant. We have a process on Evalena's website, evalenarose.com, of soul retrieval. It was invented because someone said to one of us once, it's not fair. We spend our whole childhood going through abuse, and we spend our adulthood getting over it. There has to be a better way. And our representative at the moment said, we'll take it under advisement. And we found this better way, this fast way, of identifying where a part of the soul is caught in an experience of the past. It's what you call being triggered. But you stay in your adult and you notice the part that's triggered. And with Divine Mother, Divine Mother and your adult, maybe some angels, step into the scene, rescue the child, love them up, bring them into now, and the past is past. And so as you are gathering your strength for these times of whitewater, we encourage you to do everything like that that brings your soul essence out of the memories Let the memories just become memories. You don't have to relive all of it. The same with past lives or future lives. So many people will ask for channelings about these things and then merge with them, and now they're suffering like this suffering in the other life. And that is unnecessary, unwise. And we suggest that you find a better way. And the better way is to call your guides and angels and say, I don't know what's incomplete in that life, but I ask that you complete it. And I ask that you clear any bleed through from that life to me, any cords from any of the players in that life to my life, so I no longer need to relive it. And then you focus with your guides on gleaning the gems out of that life. What were the lessons that you can apply to this life? And then you release it and invite Spirit to help every part of that life move on into the light. So you can do work from this life that completes other lives, but there's no need to merge and suffer with the other life. If you're suffering, step back into witness state and allow the divine to go to the lives. And Kali, she's really good at this, or any of the goddesses or guides to take care of the life, or angels. And you are the one issuing the prayers and the permission for that to take place. So the other piece that the councils of light really wanted to offer today is some community prayer for the earth. So we'd like to do that now. And we'd like to do it with a sense of allowing yourself to ground and center. So bringing your light down your core, follow it in, the downward spiraling serpent of the Kundalini, bringing your light all the way down, follow it in, and come sit in your heart chakra. And just for a moment, feel your deep grounding, send it deep into the earth. And imagine with that deep grounding, you can bring up earth energy, mix it with your Kundalini, let it spiral up your core, the upward spiraling serpent, and fill your body with earth energy and grounding. And on the out-breath, just receive. Another in-breath, letting your light spiral down your center. Come sit in your heart chakra. If you feel that deep grounding, you can also feel that simultaneously, while being in your heart, you can expand into the chakra beyond your crown, and the one beyond that, and on up. There's 7 layers. When you expand all the way up, you're reaching into the quantum realm, into that aspect of you that is pure spirit, untouched by lifetimes, untouched by trauma. When they say that this lifetime and all of it, all that happens is illusion, it's because it's not happening to your pure soul, your pure spirit essence, the heart of your soul. So you connect in, call it spirit, call it the heart of your soul. Sometimes higher self can be a little polluted by trauma, so you go high. The heart of your soul most connected with the heart of the divine. Bring that light in. Let it spiral down your center and shine upon you in the sanctuary of your heart. And we encourage you to create a sanctuary there, to imagine in the vastness of the chakra of the heart that you can have this beautiful space you come to, comfy, warm-hearted, warm colors, and maybe an altar to what you wish to bring about. Right now, sitting in the sanctuary of your heart, allow yourself to focus on the altar and tune in what would be a symbol for you of so much light and so much love coming to the earth that humanity becomes balanced in love and light again. What would be a symbol for you of the harmony of divisions, the harmony of divisiveness itself, the moving beyond that. So maybe it's an overflowing chalice, or maybe it's a bright sun or star encompassing the earth, whatever you wish to hold. Imagine putting that on the altar in your heart. And then imagine sitting at that altar, and sitting where you're sitting in your body, but also your spiritual witness, essence, self, sitting at the altar in your heart. Grounded into earth and open into the heavens. And now we say these prayers. Change the words for you as you wish. Great Mother Goddess, the heart of divine masculine, the heart of divine feminine, source itself, Great Spirit, I call upon that which is creatrix of all. And I especially call upon Divine Mother. The species of my kind on this planet, they're very troubled right now. They're troubled by a virus. They're troubled by conspiracy theories. They're troubled by misinformation. They're troubled by not knowing what's true and what's not true, and what's safe and what's not safe. And they're troubled by factions being more completely encouraged to divisiveness. So Great Mother Goddess, would you take this whole species into the vastness of your great heart womb and hold them in the light of your love and recreate this species as it's meant to be, representatives of the divine having a human experience. So we ask that you enfold all of humanity and womanity in your big heart chakra, the womb of your heart, and you dissolve the divisiveness, you dissolve the tendency to violence, you dissolve that which is other than love and light and divinity living out itself. We ask that all the realms of light, we give permission for all the realms of light to create the very divine interventions here that will allow this great transformation to take place, will allow those ready to live more on the fourth and fifth dimensional realms the freedom to do that, and allow those who are bogged down in some of these third dimensional trials and tribulations to have a little more liquidity, a little more capacity to breathe differently, to evolve another way of being, to join into the prayers of the light workers, that light reigns supreme on the planet, and that peace becomes a way of life. We're not saying God, Goddess, guides, angels, beings of light, take this earth back to where it was, because we all know there's a need for great transformation, for the dissolution of things that aren't working. And some of those are big systems, and it's painful for these beings to be a part of this dissolution. So hold everyone in your arms, Mother Goddesses, Father Gods, hold everyone in your heart. Help each individual on the planet move toward a higher expression of themselves, a more evolved vibrational pattern as they wish. We do not ask to go against anyone's free will. We certainly have no interest in taking on anyone's karma by saying they must change. We simply want to offer these beautiful rays of light for anyone who chooses to change, or might even want to figure out if there might even possibly, perhaps somehow, someday be a chance to change. So let's offer the light that shows the way. Light up all the pathways, so many pathways up the mountain. Light up all the pathways, make them obvious for people. And give everyone who wishes the kind of support and spiritual existence that they need. For those who haven't yet learned how to ask, we invite a lot of serendipity. That just as they say something, that song comes on the radio, or the lights flash, or the next email is exactly what they're talking about, so that they get reinforced in coming to trust that they really do know what truth is. We ask divine ones, radiant beings of light, help each of those within the sound of our voice or the energetics of our transmission to deepen in their capacity to trust themselves and to trust that they know what truth is. To maybe consider all the theories and all the ways people define truth as options. It's kind of like you gather wheat from the field and the kernel is what you want. That's where all the nutrients are. You don't eat the whole stalk and all the chaff. So everyone can gather information and do their research and then pull just the kernels out, the ones that rest easy in their heart. So imagine, dear ones who are joining this prayer, that you can ask your own radiant guides and angels at any time, help me glean the kernels of truth from everything I hear, I read, I see, I sense, I imagine. And help me let go of excess fear, of conspiracies that aren't true, of misinformation or misunderstandings, or just plain anxiety running my ego mind. Great Mother Goddess, hold me too. The Mother Goddesses have such vast laps, especially their heart womb. And there are so many Mother Goddesses, or the one can be in myriad places at once. So Mother Goddess, hold me too. Or if there's a special guide you wish, hold me too. And recook me, recreate me in your great heart womb, ever more capable of living from the authentic being I am, from the original design of my soul. I've been many places and a lot of stuff has happened to me. Oy vey, a lot of stuff has happened to me. And I offer it all up. I surrender. Help me know I am not what's happened to me. Help me know that I am the divine child. Each of us is the divine child, and under everything that's happened to me is my essence, nature that cannot be harmed. Help me know that nature. We offer up these prayers. We ask they be amplified by the prayers of all the light workers around the planet and received by the realms of light, the councils of light, the guides and angels so aware of the need on this planet for special support. And we ask you take these prayers, you can polish them up to their very finest expression and then bring them about. We'd like all of you on the inner realms to get busy right now and help these people. We would love to call in rays of light, scalar waves from the Absolute. So if you want these, tune in to that in you which is spirit, beyond soul, spirit, never touched by any lifetime. Tune into that which is spirit in all of us. Evalena's tuning into her spirit. And then we all tune into the heart of Great Spirit. And we ask Spirit in your guides and angels, the Council, Great Spirit, Spirit in your being to bring in the very waves of grace, the scalar waves of light from the absolute plane that you need to wash through you and wash away whatever is unnecessary. It's so valuable to allow your light and the light of Source to wash clear your energy field often, because you pick up other people's energies. Most of you have noticed you're getting more and more sensitive. The good news is you're getting more and more sensitive. The not so good news is you're sensitive. Things affect you more, and you're mourning with the world some of the time, and you ache for some of these horrible situations, children not with families, or people hurting or losing loved ones they can't even see. We want to suggest you're adding your hurting to it doesn't really help. It just adds suffering. Yes, many heart-sharing suffering can lighten it for others a bit. But what if you call Kuan Yin to absorb the suffering that you feel? You ask the Divine Mothers to lift it free of the earth plane, so there's less mourning altogether and less suffering altogether. Either way is sacred, either way works. And we want to share with you that you can be a part of the solution and do a lot of light work without merging with the pain. It's keeping your own energy field really solid and clear. And part of that is cleansing it. So feeling those waves of grace, that light from the quantum realms flowing in, sparkling, iridescent, liquid waterfalls of light washing you clear. Wash away the past, wash away all the feared and imagined futures, and help bring you ever more into your core, into your center. Great Mother Goddess, thank you for the light. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Great Spirit. If there's anyone you would wish to pray for, acknowledge their spirit and Great Spirit, the heart of Source itself, and ask for these scalar lights, it's S-C-A-L-A-R, or waves of grace, to flow to them as well. So we offer up these prayers and ask that they be fulfilled. All this and more, please. That this earth might be ever so gently and lovingly moved to higher vibrations. Vibrations beyond where the coping mechanisms of violence and greed can affect it. Yes, this and more, please. Blessed be. Please fulfill. Let them go. Once you pray like this, in any fashion like this, then the next piece is surrender. So we've shared this kind of 5-part process. It takes a lot to get to surrender. So then you say all your prayers, you know you've done what you need to do, and then you surrender. And it's the thumb because that represents will, and you're tuning into divine will and giving your permission for divine will to function. And then you let it go. And then you allow. So this is sometimes the challenging part, especially if you're an activist, to know when it's time to say, thank you, go fulfill my prayers, and I allow you to fulfill them in me. And that can be a stage of a few minutes, a few hours, a few years. Once you really allow, the next is to accept. Accept, yeah, it is. It is, and I am, and this is where my soul has planted itself, and I accept so that I can be here and experience what I'm here to experience, and I accept my lessons. It can be a few hours, a few days, weeks, months, years, and then it's acknowledge. I acknowledge I'm a spiritual being. I acknowledge I'm here. I've surrendered. I acknowledge I know more and more who I am. I acknowledge that I work with the divine. And then the last is arrive. Arrive is so sweet. It's where, big out breath. Everyone do that. The big out breath. And it's, I'm here. I'm here. The divine is at work. Source is in the center of all that is. It's all handled. I rest. I arrive. I trust. When you fully arrive, sometimes you find yourself just sitting. You didn't sit to meditate. You didn't sit to do much. Maybe you didn't sit, except right now, it's time to just sit. And oh, the rejuvenation that happens when it's just this moment, this sitting, this non-thought, maybe a little contemplation and then emptiness. So arrive is you arrive empty in the fullness of your true being. And you welcome yourself home. So that's what we invite for all of you. We feel that there's option, there's opportunity. You know, the Chinese signal for danger, for crisis, is danger and opportunity, and there's both. We see the danger. We work with people every day about it. We also see the opportunity to be an anchor for higher ways of living. And that is so needed. So we wanted to come back on to call the light workers on duty. You can do it by posting upbeat messages on social media. You can do it when you see a post and you think it's false, but very gently saying, there's another way to look at this. We don't encourage you to get into arguments with people who are entrenched. Pray for them. But to support those who are questioning the narrative. Is there really such a virus? Is it deadly? Are the numbers inflated? Yes, there is illness. There's a demand on the medical system. That seems very, very real. And yet, what is this lockdown of those who are well? And is that necessary? Our face masks, and are they enough? A whole lot of people in the medical world are using proper face masks and staying healthy. And more people are moving out into the world in that way and staying healthy. And there are places people are moving out into the world without face masks and staying healthy. So there's truth in all the different narratives. That's why it's so confusing. And there's falsehood in most of them. So you look for those kernels. You take it into your heart and you go, okay, heart, does this feel true? And if your heart goes, it's not. If your heart goes, it may be. So you glean the kernels of truth and you start formulating your own understanding of what's real and what's not real. We can tell you there's not truth in many of the conspiracy theories. We can also tell you there is a nefarious undercurrent going on with all of this, and it bears close watching. Not fear-based, but a sense of what is mine to do in regard to what we're all being subjected to. What is mine to do? There's a lot of fears that the populace has already allowed a level of control. Populace of the planet allowed a level of control that could be dangerous if it continues to grow. So you really want to look at these narratives and go, okay, if I question, what do I know to be true? Well, I know I don't want to be with someone who's got COVID. Certainly not without a face mask and a lot of the protocols that are necessary. Maybe with those protocols. I know that I'm not out courting it. I also know that there are people who are finding safe ways to connect and get connection again and have community. Or maybe your truth is, I can go online with people who are also questioning what's going on, but I'm not going to believe everything I hear. I'm going to find the people who resonate with those kernels of truth in my heart and make my own choices. We do wish to tell you that the realms of light, the councils of light, feel concern with the possible scheme of vaccinating every person on the planet. There's a lot of strong empirical data that some people do not do well with vaccinations and get quite sick or lose functioning, and children are sometimes at a loss of some functioning because they were vaccinated. Feels to us that that's been proven, and it may not to you, but at least question. We also know that some of the doctors that have been respected for years, decades, like Christian Northrup, would say this is a vaccine like no other. It has things in it that you don't want in your body. And it serves a purpose that is better not served. So at least pay attention. Educate yourself. Find the kernels that fit for you and know that you're at choice. You're at choice. The true spiritual warrior is sovereign in making his or her choices, his or their choices. And we wish for you to be sovereign. Talk it over with not just people who agree with you, but can you be curious? Someone else says something and it feels outrageous to you. Can you be curious enough to say, would you accept some inquiry about that? I want to understand how you get there and what's the emotional basis for your choices. Not because you need or want to change them, but because you're looking for the heart of truth for you. There may be some whose life requires that they're out among people, they're exposed a lot, and their family would feel so much better if they had the vaccine. Then just look at the various ones and which ones are made by military establishments and which come from more reputable firms. We have heard the president say that they'll be delivered by the military. Doesn't that make you question? Why would the military come to my door to vaccinate me? So question. We do not feel one size fits all. When people ask, should I be with this person or shouldn't? Sometimes we can see what might be best for them in the long run. But if we help them make a decision before they're ready to make it, they'll probably unmake it several times. Or they might miss the lessons they would have if they stay long enough to get their voices. So answers to big truths rarely come down to either or, this or that. Come down to only one choice. For your spiritual evolution, you want it to come down to your choice. If you choose to go with the narrative, it's probably the easier choice in some ways, but in terms of health conditions, probably not your health. If you choose to go in a different direction, then you want to find others who are moving in a direction against the norm, because if there's enough moving in that direction will also become a reality that can be chosen. So at least you're voting with your consciousness for choice. And that's why we speak of these things. We want more and more people to vote with your consciousness for choice. So it's how you think. You think maybe it is okay that some people decide for the vaccine and other people don't. Or maybe it's okay that I say, I'm going to wait a year, I'm going to see what happens. But I'm also going to keep my voice about it. It's up to you. When you tune in from your heart, when you really sit with your heart and your soul and this light that we're bringing in from your quantum self, when you really sit with that, you will know. You will know. Your heart discerns truth. It just needs your presence. So make a habit of sitting in your heart. It's a pretty sweet place to be. We think you'll like it immensely. Ah, that's a lot to be said. So please take a breath. And rather than yes or no, I agree or I don't, or whatever your mind wants to do, just go, great Lord, great Mother Goddess, great Spirit, I offer up my need to know, and I allow myself to be guided by the highest truth, by the heart of the divine, the heart of my soul. And I ask that you help my personality follow this deepest guidance. I surrender my will to higher will. Surrender is not giving up, it's giving over. And then a good next prayer is, if there's anything you need or want me to do, let me know. Right now I offer it up. And offer it up. Whew. So all the concerns you felt, just offer them up. Ask the angels to lift them out of your consciousness, out of your mind. The prayers are out there. The prayers are being fulfilled. You can offer up anxiety. Gather it up from your core. Offer it up from deep inside of you. The reason we use the hands is that the subconscious then understands you're making a change. So offer it up and arrive in now. We love you immensely. There are so many beings of light on the other side of the veil, now activated by these prayers and the prayers that have been going up strongly many times a day by light workers like Evalena. So offer your own prayers. They can agree or disagree with these. We're not here for agreement, we're here for guiding you. So offer up your own prayers. Ask for the highest good of all concerned, yourself and the universe, and complete by saying, so be it, and so it is. Blessed be. Thank you, dear ones. Thank you, Evalena, for being willing to allow us to speak through you. We appreciate you as a gift to this work. There are many others who channel the Counts of 12. You might find some of those as well. Connect with Spirit, all of you. We thank these amazing myriad beings of light who've come to this call. We bless you. We empower your work in response to these prayers and everyone who listens here. We ask that your own guides and angels bless each of you, that your highest destinies evolve with amazing grace, miraculous grace, ease, and elegance. And may the realms of light bathe this earth with so much love and so much peace that all beings are uplifted, all souls are supported in finding the way for their incarnations to be a part of the solution, not the problem. The myriad solutions, releasing the problems from the earth. And may this species know itself in renewal to be the offspring of the divine. We thank you. We bless you. Namaste.